Hey guys, Glyceromania here today, coming back at y'all with another wrestling video today. And today I'm going to be talking about how WWE has presented the Women's IC Championship. And in my humble opinion, I think WWE has not been presenting the Women's IC Championship very well. Because if you think about it, in my opinion, I feel like WWE has presented the Women's IC Championship a second fiddle to the Women's United States Championship on SmackDown. And here's why I think that. Like, go back to how they presented it. They presented it off air on Monday Night Raw. They didn't present it on live television. While the Women's United States Championship, they presented it live on television on Monday night on Friday Night SmackDown. And also the way they presented the Women's IC Championship tournament, I feel like they didn't advertise that tournament well. They did not advertise it well. But the Women's United States Championship on SmackDown, they advertised that tournament very well. Like they advertised it on SmackDown very well. They I feel like they had a little bit of bigger names, so that was a bigger advantage. But other than that, like it was advertised very well. Also, when Lyra Valkyria won the title, the moment didn't feel as big as Chelsea Green winning the Women's United States Championship. And I don't know if it had to do with the fact of how the Women's IC Championship was presented, or if like there was more like show stealing moments on Monday Night Raw, or if people just didn't really care too much about the Women's IC Championship, or how the women's division is on Monday Night Raw, where almost all the women's where almost all the female talent are in factions, and like maybe that's has something to do with how this title has been presented so far and everything. But like I'm kind of nervous for Lyra Valkyria's title reign, and I'm kind of nervous for the future of the women's IC championship. Like so far, what the future has been telling me that this title hasn't been presented well, and this title and the way this title is going to be booked is not going to be booked decently well either, and that's kind of scares me. How I would have fixed this problem, instead of announcing it on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown on and off air, I would have just made an announcement on YouTube or Twitter and then announced the new women's mid card championships on there. And then had Nick Aldis and Adam Pearson present. And then start announcing the names of who was going to be on each side of the tournament for Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. So that way you could have avoided the Women's Intercontinental Championship looking like a second fiddle title to the Women's United States Championship. That's how I would have did it, because I feel like that's a fair way, so that like you don't have to be like like worrying about cutting off TV time just to fit a small announcement or doing anything else. Because in my opinion, I think that WWE intentionally announced the Women's Intercontinental Championship off air? Yes and no, but I feel like the only reason why they announced it off air is because they wanted to fit in more things into Monday Night Raw and not drag it out too long, which I think is fair. But at the same time, I just would have did it differently if you knew you were gonna have that problem, just to make it fair and just to make it a little bit more organized. But anyways, this is my opinion on how I feel about the Women's Intercontinental Championship so far. I could be wrong if they book it right, or I could be right. But if you guys like more wrestling content, you guys know what to do. Make sure to subscribe for more, because I'm going to be trying to put out more wrestling content a little bit more consistently. And I'm sticking full time to YouTube as of now, because yes, TikTok has been unbanned, but as of now, I uninstalled TikTok, so I can't get on TikTok for some time until they re-release it in the App Store and the Play Store. So I'll see you guys in the next video.